I love this.
Boys and girls, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to Monday Mashup here with Hightop Sports. Recapping, what was it, week 4, week 5? I don't even know anymore. It's been the longest football season ever for us Florida Gators, and we've just tried to forget it. We hope it's week 12, but it's not. So we're going to keep rocking and rolling here. We're going to be talking about Texas Tech, Utah, which did not plan out like we thought it would. Auburn versus Oklahoma, which did not plan out like we thought it would. Indiana, Illinois, which went not how we thought it would either. Michigan, Nebraska went exactly how we anticipated, and Cox versus Mizzou didn't go how we thought it would. We don't know what we're talking about, so if you want to tune off now, I highly recommend it. Boys and girls, joining us here today is Cowboy Ty, bringing us all in
I went
juice.
5-0. I went 5-0. I was 5-0.
I don't think so. That's crazy. And Cody the professor, 5-0.
I wasn't 5-0, but you know who I did take is I took the Hoosiers, and they put
Yeah, you
Phelan
took
in the
Illinois.
coffin.
You took Luke, no?
I
took Luke.
No, he took the Hoosiers. He took the Hoosiers. Yeah.
You did take Texas Tech.
Give me the fighting
Yeah, you did
Gettys
go
is
5-0.
what I said.
Yeah. You did go 5-0. So I took
went
Mizzou,
5-0.
Michigan, OU, and Utah. So I think I took Illinois. So, all right.
You were 3-2.
That
you were in
3:30
shambles.
slate.
Okay,
That 3:30
shambles.
slate was really good.
It was a great football up
It
until about
was
7:30
really
kickoff time.
7:30
7:45. Yeah,
it
kind of went
started to get a little shaky.
Kind of went to crap, but everything else prior to, because even the Illinois game was crap. I mean, Indiana just curb stomped these boys out here.
Stop.
Before we get into the
Good
games, we
one.
got to talk about this Arch Manning stuff, man. The guy, there's clips going mayhem of him shoving the coach. Cody confirmed that it was like a
Celebration.
celebration fire, but it's just very cringy. Then he's flexing on a Sam Houston defensive player when he goes into the end zone. Not the greatest look. Look, trying to find his swagger, trying to find out who he is. Not making a lot of friends right now, to be quite honest. I think a lot of people are turned off from what they saw. But if it helps him find out who he is, I mean, he can listen. The internet is a flaky place, and 1 week they love you and 1 week they hate you. So to take it with what you will. I think it's a little cringy, but in the same breath, I would love if our offense had some fire like that. So maybe it's like, hey, go let him be him, kind of find a little bit of attitude. He has been taking some heat on the internet, and the thing these guys don't see, I mean, they're still kids. They're wearing on their shoulder pads, to say the least. Florida's got them in 2 weeks. Could be an interesting one. That it was supposed to be the greatest show on turf, but at this point, it's going to be which prodigy quarterback's going to suck less at this rate. It's brutal.
Who can complete a vertical pass to the right guy, the right team?
Yeah, wearing the right color jerseys. Or again, against a team that has a pulse. That's what we need to see. That's what we need to see.
Guys, you are Florida State of last year. Welcome.
I don't see another win.
Yeah, our defense was good. Our defense is good. You guys sucked last year.
That's true. I will agree with that. That's fair.
I can't even listen. This is the only breath of smack talk that I can give you. We are not Florida State of last year because we're not winning. We're winning more than 2 games with your schedule. We may win 2 games with our schedule. You would have won 1 game with our schedule. So
I don't see another win.
Yeah, we might not win 2. But I would love if we could take those 2 teams. I think we curb stomped that FSU team last year. And I say that lightly. When I say curb stomp, it's going to be 10-0.
I also agree.
It's going to be 10-0. All right, that's the curb stomping that's going to happen. That's what it's come to. It's like, hey, which shittier Florida team is better?
Florida's playing Iowa brand ball, but we're not winning.
God, bro,
we're not winning.
It is.
Which Iowa wins, damn it.
Oh, gosh. Iowa, I feel like has, a little better. I mean, they at least move the ball a little bit to give their defense some rest and get some field goals. We couldn't even. I didn't even see who Trace. It's crazy to think that week 1 people were ready to jump off a bridge for Trace Mack, saying that he was washed, it was done and over with. That was the one thing that I was sound on. I was like, this kid's gonna be a stud. I haven't seen him since, but it hasn't even touched the football field but for extra points, so it's irrelevant. I love it. Let's get into it, boys. Texas Tech versus Utah. Texas Tech boys were flying around hitting somebody. Listen, you lied to me about Dampier. That boy's butt cheeks. that man is straight ass, boy. I'm telling you what, I was hot. It looked like our offense. It looked like, I don't know what it looked like, but it was complete booty cheeks yesterday. I was so frustrated because Utah it was like watching us. Their defense was holding, bend, don't break, bend, don't break, with a very electric offense. Texas Tech, bro. What was his Will Hammond, true freshman.
Will Hammond. Yes.
Just belt to, you know what I'm talking about, boy? Just stepped up in the pocket, slinging that thing, baby. True. I was like, what I would give. I mean, buddy had just ice in the veins, just said, sack up, put up, and let's go get it, baby. That man he looked better than Morton. I tell you what, they might have themselves a little quarterback battle. Morton went down he got absolutely whopped with a concussion. But Dampier is butt cheeks. Utah is on fraud alert, in my opinion, because of how bad he looked. Maybe Texas Tech's defense is just that good. It could be. Look, we talked about it. They revamped it. They were flying around that football field, man. Utah didn't have an answer for nothing. And once that, that bend don't break, and telling you, Hammond started getting the thing going. Watching their wide receivers, Virgil and Caleb Douglas, RIP, another great Florida transfer. He was electric to watch too, man. 6'4", just grabbing everything out of the air. Good for him for making the right move for his career. Ty, what was your thoughts on that game, Bubba?
Yeah, man, I like Texas Tech in this game. I did not expect to go the way it did. There were a lot of turnovers in that football game, but that Will Hammond kid, man, I looked him up after he came in. But he came in and he fired up everyone as soon as he stepped in the huddle.
He did.
And I said, this guy got it. He's got it. And that's what you want to see out of a quarterback. But a true freshman came in and he was absolutely slinging it. Texas Tech played great defense. They got that oil money working. They're doing it over there. I think they're jumped up to 12th in the country. This team is dangerous. They are, you never expect Texas Tech to actually play defense. They're playing defense. And that Will Hammond kid, Morton shouldn't have got hurt because I don't think he's got a job anymore because I love what I saw from him.
Could be a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe, situation down there in Texas Tech. And look, we took Utah here because I felt like Kyle Whittingham would coach it, but Joe McGuire's got that thing running. And yes, he did come in because Morton got whopped before the concussion. He came in like shoving people, grabbing face masks, slapping helmets, like, let's go, and then hands it off and runs off the football field. Bro, I was dying, bro.
Listen, he gives me a 5-star just for that move. Like, give me that guy. I want that guy as my quarterback.
I get so, my gosh, man, just going back and rewatching some of the games that I missed because of, we were watching other games and just seeing just complimentary football. I don't even want to watch football. It just makes me irate when I watch good football. And the fact that this true freshman kid came in and looked the way that he did. And dude, Rice Esso Stadium is no joke. Like, it gets overlooked because of like the Tennessees, the Swamp, LSU, those obviously the Horseshoe, things like that. It's up there. It's top 15, creeping into the top 10 of rowdy places to go and play. And this game was tight when he stepped in. He had to win the game. It wasn't locked in.
When he grabbed that guy's face, I said, "Oh,
yeah." And they loved it. They loved it. Cody, talk to us. Wake up, big fella. What do you think?
Yeah, it's as a Florida fan, it's good to see actual watchable football being played on the field, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Relieving that Texas Tech does have somewhat of a defense. It's the first time in a Big 12 situation that somebody actually has a defense. So that's relieving. Usually it's just Wild West shootouts out there in the Big 12. I'm going to say this. You think Texas Tech is good this year? Watch out for next year because they are bringing another legit recruiting class in this coming year. Watch out. Texas Tech and Kansas, mark those down for the Big 12 championship game
for this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Kansas absolutely rolled. They put up 43.
I mean, they loved. I mean, look, they lost to Mizzou, which even makes Mizzou just look 4-0, look even sweeter, even with this big win, which we'll get into over South Carolina. But great stuff there. Great game. It wasn't exciting until the end where it kind of really busted up, but I really enjoyed watching it. Dampier was making me just, again, extremely frustrating to watch. I don't know how you just didn't go elsewhere, just how bad it was. The guy was 12 for 14 for 88 yards. What are we doing? I mean, and then Will Hammond comes in and goes 7 for 7 for 140. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Now go get it, kid. Look, yeah, Texas Tech, man, they have, and neither team, Utah could be back, by the way, because neither team have a ranked team left on their schedule. But Utah plays BYU, and I believe they should, and they are now ranked. So that might have
That's
changed.
the holy war.
Yeah,
Well,
that might have.
I know there was questions in this game too. I mean, if you think about it, like no team had not been tested by anyone in a true situation. So like we got what we got from these teams, and we saw what we saw. So like that's why, it was a lot of question marks, but I think they were answered
For sure. Auburn, Oklahoma. I'm going to pass this one to Cody first because I know that this was kind of his big game that he was looking forward to. Came down to an instant classic. Jackson Arnold, kind of off the top of my head, nothing to hang his hat on. I think this Auburn team got booted out of the top 25. They shouldn't have personally. They went at it with a very good Oklahoma team. Illinois gets absolutely walloped by Indiana. Now they were ranked 9th. Do you take them all the way out of 25th? No, because you didn't do it to Bama when they got embarrassed by FSU. But that's what makes these things, like you put precedents in place that don't make sense. Auburn is a top 25 football team at this very moment. Illinois is not. But I digress. It doesn't matter, obviously. But Cody, what are your thoughts on this game, big guy?
Yeah, it's actually the game I streamed. This is my game of the week, Auburn and OU. I'm going to say this. Auburn had the chance to win it. Jackson Arnold missed on 3 wide open passes to Coleman, 3 deep shots. If he hits those, they're up by 21. This thing doesn't even look like the same game. Oklahoma, they got the win. They did what they had to do. Mateer did not look exceptional. He looked okay, a little rocky. The run game was questionable at times, but what does OU do best? They play defense. The refs on this game was absolutely atrocious. I mean, another game where the refs kind of took it in their own hands, and Oklahoma squeaks out the win due to the refereeing being so bad. A couple of PIs that should have been PIs on Coleman that never got called. It didn't. It's not a good look when you're taking games over at the reffing position. Jackson Arnold looked better. He hit on some passes. Like I said, though, he had a screen pass that he missed. That was a walk ahead touchdown at the 35. And he had 3 deep shots, which I know a little harder to hit, but he had a wide open King Coleman. There wasn't a cornerback with 20 yards, and he's standing there. He's run down the field and he overfloats him by 10 feet. So. Still questioning that quarterback room from Auburn. I wonder
if we see the young kid,
is it time to make a switch to the freshman? Because listen, you're in SEC play now, and you have to get these wins if Hugh Freeze wants to stay there.
Look, I think Hugh Freeze coached a great game alongside Brent Venables, and then when it got to where Jackson had to go make a play, Oklahoma was able to pin their ears back and do what they do best and utilize their strength, which is their defense. And you can't really hold that against Jackson. The fact that he kept it as close as he did, kept it even and keel. I think there was a big monkey relieved off of his back. I think he proved to himself that he can kind of go up with the best of them, played in a very hostile environment, and held his ground. So Hugh Freeze and Auburn, they should feel really good where they are and where they're headed. Much better than other SEC teams going into their 4th year. This is his 3rd. But Brent Venables going into his 4th year, winning a big game, a close one, and squeaking it out. I thought it was going to be a bloodbath, and that isn't to kind of take anything away from Oklahoma, but more compliment to, I think, Hugh Freeze and how they handled themselves on Saturday. But both teams, again, I think will be threats to I think Oklahoma's going to be in. Auburn has an opportunity. They still control their own destiny for sure. Ty?
Well, first of all, you guys are giving way more of a pass in Jackson Arnold than I ever will, because I can tell you 10 sacks. And I can tell you, it wasn't all of the Auburn offensive line. It was him holding the football, and then getting sacked. He missed Cam Coleman. He hit Cam Coleman in one. Cam Coleman made a great football play. Cam Coleman, if he played anywhere else, might win the Heisman. But the fact that he plays at Auburn, he's got no shot. I feel bad for him, but, that's his choice. OU, like you said, they didn't run the ball at all, and they still won the game by 7 points. I think Mateer was a leading rusher with like 19 yards.
Yeah, dude,
I don't think they did anything.
That was crazy. It was like 40 yards rushing. There is still a big factor of their inability to run.
Good. I will give Auburn all the credit on defense because they play football over there. There's no getting around it. But you can't take 10 sacks in a football game and win. There's no shot. It's just like he doesn't see the field well. Like you said, Cam Coleman made a great route, and he ran a perfect route and had the corner fold, and he could have punted it down there. Instead, he tried to throw a perfect ball because the corner was already beat, and he couldn't get his feet back, so acceleration wasn't good enough. He could have just thrown it up there, and it would have been a touchdown, and he didn't. I don't see it. I understand he played better, and he did play some good. He made some good plays. I'm not going to say that, but like you just can't miss those throws in big games like that. That's just my opinion.
Well, Cody did say that it's the verdict's still out for that Auburn quarterback group, and I'm just saying that he looked better than what last year. Last year, this Jackson Arnold folds. I mean, this game is a blowout. So
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Also, guys, this is probably one of the best defensive lines in the nation. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Stone out there getting Jaden Jackson, that big guy in the middle. The big Hawaiian out of IMG, 3-star. I don't know how he was a 3-star. I love that kid. He actually took starting reps away from the the senior last year. I told Oklahoma fans that that's the guy to watch his freshman year. They were like, "Oh, David Stone. Oh, this guy." Oh, I'm like, nope.
They both
that
played
guy's
phenomenal.
I mean, that guy's the dude. But that's the most vaunted defensive line that anybody's probably going to face in the SEC. And Brent Venables does a very good job with that defense. But like you said, a little susceptible on the corner play. Corner play versus Cam Coleman was not good. He hit him on that sluggo. If he hits that thing, that changes the game around, and Auburn wins that thing. The only thing I have to say about Jackson Arnold, they lost the game, but it's the first time I've seen Jackson Arnold walk out of that stadium with his head held high and felt confident.
He felt confident. That was my takeaway, is that he felt
that's a big factor. I don't disagree with any
taking
of that.
10 sacks, he knew that they had a chance and kind of came up short, but it was...
Well, I'm not ready to throw the OU quarterbacks under the bus because Cam Coleman might be the best wide receiver in the country. I can tell you that dude can play. I mean, I know he only had 3 catches, but it's more than that. Like, you can watch him run routes, and it's impressive.
I think the only guy that I was questionable MIA on is Eric Singleton.
He had a great game too.
The transfer from Georgia Tech. I just wish they would use him a little more. It feels like he's in spot duty. Like he's more of like our Eugene Wilson at Florida. Like they do a lot of motion and stuff with him. I'd like to see him get a couple more touches.
You know what's going to happen? Eric Singleton's going to get drafted in like the 3rd round. He's going to be the best slot receiver in the world in the NFL. That's what's going to happen.
Slide down a little bit. Yeah. Let's get into the only, I mean, Texas Tech became a bloodbath, but nowhere near this game here. This Illinois-Indiana game, which was like a 3-point spread. Nobody had this thing turning out the way that it did. Kurt Sig puts belt to you know what. And look, man, Mendoza throws for 4 touchdowns. Defensively, this is where they were good last year, was defensively. We had question marks on offense for Indiana. If you guys remember this team last year, they were very fierce on the defense. They just didn't have that ability to pop off when need be. They have the ability to pop off. Let's not forget where Kurt came from. Just another one from the tree, boys, from the old Nick Saban tree. That guy was there for about 45 years, doing his thing. It was like, I'm never going to get my chance at F. It goes over to James Madison, does incredible things there, just boop, pops up, picks up James Madison, brings him into Indiana, and does some special things last year. I doubted him this year. I shouldn't have. The reason I'm saying all this and giving you a little bit of a timeline, it gives you the SEC vibe. They dominated the trenches on both sides of the ball. Illinois didn't stand a chance when it came to just playing just straight up football. Like, the game was moving at a speed they didn't even know existed out there on every asset of the game. I think, look, this Indiana team, they made it last year with a pretty favorable schedule. They're going to make it again. They're going to make it again into the playoffs. I think they're going to be more legitimate threat. This playoff, man, I said it a bunch last year. I think this might be the best playoff we've seen, because in last year had the potential if Ohio State didn't just find a gear that no one else knew. Like, we hadn't seen that gear, and they just turned on a gear that was like, okay, like nobody is touching them. Like, nobody had a chance. The rest of the playoffs were good, and obviously the seeding screwed a whole bunch of nonsense up. But I think that's going to get filtered out as well, too. The ACC, I mean, you've got legitimate powerhouses there with FSU and Miami. They look really good. And Georgia Tech. So we're going to get 2, maybe all 3 of those in there, and they're all really good. Syracuse, don't sleep on them. They might squeak in somewhere somehow. The Big 12 will give you somebody a little bit better than I think than Arizona State with a Texas Tech. Maybe Utah can figure the thing out on offensively, or like you said, Kansas that can throw some firepower. They'll throw one of these teams off. Then the SEC, I mean, is wide open. Like literally, you arguably could have 5 because of how again it'll become a bloodbath towards the end. But the SEC, where it looks at right now, and then of course the Big 10, you're going to have Indiana, Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State, and maybe Michigan, and maybe Nebraska, which we're going to get into. I like how Nebraska has looked. I'm not over on them. It's becoming a really good football year where this thing is. I mean, you're going to be scratching and clawing. And I remember when people were like, oh, it goes to 12. You're gonna be wishing it was 16 or 18. We're gonna be wishing it was 18 this year. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. It's early, but man, it looks good. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about nil and you talk about what it's done for college football, like we hated it. I wasn't a big fan of it at the beginning, but man, how are we playing? Like, it feels like everyone's playing football. Like the top 12 teams, like you said, I don't see somebody standing out as they're that good. And you come back to this Indiana Illinois game. Like Signetti is unreal. Like what he's done with that football program over 2 years is unbelievable. And he wins wherever he goes. That is one of the most important factors ever. It means he usually connects well. He understands his players. And Mendoza was 21 of 23. At no point was that game ever even a sweat. Bielema looked like he was lost over there. He had no idea where he couldn't believe what he got hit in the mouth with. They have so many players that they use. They use them all very well. They keep everyone fresh, and they just play football. I love Indiana. I think they're better than they are last year. I think they're going to make the playoff again, and who knows what's going to happen in that thing.
Let's go over the top 25 right now, okay, of who's a playoff team in our eyes. You got the top Ohio State, yes. Miami, yes. Penn State, LSU, Georgia, all yes. That's your first 5. Next 5, okay. Oregon, Oklahoma, Florida State, A&M. Texas is the only one that I don't believe will be up there. So 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Indiana, yes. Texas Tech, yes. Ole Miss, it's gonna. I'm not there. I won't sell them in. They look good. I just think their schedule is that's gonna play a factor. Who they play.
I think Trinidad takes that job.
They got Trinidad, bud.
I know.
They got Trinidad.
We'll throw them in there. Iowa State, no, because Texas Tech's going to take that last spot for Big 12. I don't think you're going to see 2 Big 12 teams this year.
Yeah, I don't think
Tennessee.
Very good.
Tennessee looks really good. They're in the same boat as Ole Miss. Georgia Tech looks really good. Bama, we don't know yet. We don't know. Bama, the verdict's still out. Vandy.
That Wisconsin window did not look as good as it did the other day because they looked.
That's what I'm saying. The verdict's still out. The verdict's still out. Vandy, verdict's still out. Michigan looks like I said, that the old Michigan. They ran the ball like they wanted to. They've got a great defensive line. Defense, I mean, Dylan torched them. So I think that they'll get battered, and I think they fall off. Mizzou rolling in their schedule. Yeah. Like they might slide into the SEC championship, get bullied, but only have 1 loss. You've got to put them in. The SEC is going to be in shambles.
They're in.
How many go?
100%.
USC quietly getting it done. Quietly, we don't. That one's up for
still USC. They're still USC.
Their game gets kicked off at 11 o'clock. Nobody's awake. Not even me.
Quietly getting it done. Notre Dame. We've talked about it. They went out, but with how it's all played, they got to win out. They control. I think they're somewhat in control. Then you have Illinois, TCU, BYU. TCU looks good, but right now those 3 are nowhere near the other teams. So the 18 of the top 25. Yeah. We're all like, yeah, they should be, and they're going to be in the playoffs. Like that,
and they all can beat each other, which is crazy to see. And it's awesome. It's fun.
And Ohio State, I don't think the verdicts. I don't think we can just sit here and say that they're a clean slate, the number 1 team. We don't know. We genuinely don't know. Penn State too. We thought Clemson was going to be the best team in the country by a long shot.
Sure.
Thoughts in Illinois, Cody, and Indiana?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think there's a team in the nation that wanted to face Indiana yesterday. I think they could have beat everybody. They were absolutely rolling. They scored touchdowns in every way possible. Screen game touchdown, running game touchdown, throwing touchdown. Defense looked good. I mean, they had Illinois in an absolute blender. Illinois goes and scores quick, and then that's pretty much it. They shut that thing down. Kurt Signetti still coaching them hard, even when they're up, 40 points. He's still yelling at players, grabbing face masks. You got to love the towels that that Bloomington made with they have the Marlboro logo with Sig on the Coach Sig on the back of it, like the terrible towels. You gotta love, it's good for a program to have some life. You know what I mean? And this is what we were talking about with NIL. This could possibly happen. Indiana football has been terrible forever. And it's good to finally, those fans finally get to see, because Bloomington's a great city. It's a great little college town. It's good to see him finally relevant
He's biased.
in the Big Ten.
He's biased on that one. Yeah, look, it's crazy. We talked about it multiple times already. We were being consoled by a Georgia Tech fan. Ty, they came into our live stream and said, "Hey, don't worry, guys. We were once where you were, like wild times.
We've been there.
That's how bad it is here for Florida." But yeah, I mean, an Indiana fan could do the same thing because they look like they've been a national powerhouse for
You know what you guys need? You guys need the Super Veer. If you run the Super Veer, everything's fine.
Our quarterback's 250 pounds. He can only get 2 yards
They don't even
we
try
got
to run
KJ
it,
Jefferson
though.
back there. I don't know what's going on.
That's true. You need Thomas out there, then you'd be all right.
Oh, yeah, he just had to do it.
That's over the line. That's over the line.
That's a low
Get
blow.
this guy out of here.
All right. Quick, before we get into this Michigan-Nebraska game, let's talk about our sponsors today, Kalshi. We got NFL game rocking and rolling here on the Sunday night, and then, of course, Monday night we'll have the Lions kicking it off. This was really fun to watch. We watched this all throughout Saturday, watching these odds move drastically. If we don't remember, we went over that Texas Tech-Utah game, and Utah was highly favored by the people. Because how this works, ladies and gentlemen, Kalshi, is you, the people, just determine the odds and how this thing is going to flow. Not Vegas. They don't pick it and choose it. We do, just like the stock market. So if everyone's feeling like, hey, KC can win this game, it's going to drive the market up for KC. Makes you make some odds for the Giants a little bit better, or whoever you're watching for that given moment. But the great part about this, what I love, is if you feel there could be a turn in a game or a quick swing where, hey, because people are emotional, they're going to respond to that. And you saw it during the Utah game. Because it was so back and forth, when Utah had a big turnover, the ticker started to go up. So if you got in at a low part and the odds started to move up, you could cash out. You could sell them and basically get return on your money. Very, very similar to the stock market. You get in at this price, you get out at this price. That's my favorite thing about it. Or if you feel like you're just ahead of the curve and you're smarter than the average Joe, because again, this is the people coming together, making their choices, you can get in and try to take an advantage of those people. They do have player props, whether anytime touchdowns, things like that. You can bet on anything from football to whether Jimmy Kimmel or The View, which show will be canceled first, which we know how that one ends. Now there's a betting odd of when he'll record his next live show, when they will be reinstated. So they find anything and everything to bet on, because basically what they did was like how we all sit here, hey man, I'll bet you this, and put it up for all of us to take advantage of.
Holy crap.
At Kalshi. So check out Kalshi, links in the description. Use the code Hightop, get $10 off when you spend your first or deposit your first $100. What, Cody?
You remember that Jarvis Moss video? His son that we did, Noah Moss?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got an offer from Dan Mullen over our video.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No way.
That's amazing.
That film review I did.
Wow.
Are you kidding? That's awesome.
Yes, put it in the bag, boys.
I love it.
Are we Cody
The
and
professor
LV now?
at it again. Look at him. Look at him. He's dialing it.
Is this cooler than Napier recognizing you? Are we changing?
Sure.
Are we changing our support? We're UNLV fans now.
Lou and LV.
All right, lock in, Cody. Let's talk about it afterwards. That's incredible.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna make a video.
Yeah,
We're gonna make a video about it after the fact, because that's just too freaking cool. And we got to text Harris and all this stuff. Or is that who sent it to us?
Yeah, that's in the group chat.
Okay, I saw the message, but I didn't want to read it in the middle of what we were doing.
That's amazing. That's good.
Too
stuff,
cool.
Man.
That's
yeah, too cool.
Because that was the whole idea of it. Like, hey, can we reach out to help this guy get? And the kid's good to get some recognition, and the video did pretty well. So love that.
He
sometimes that's what it takes, man. That's what it takes.
I guess he DM'd Jarvis after seeing the video.
Wow.
That's all.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's awesome, man.
That means
That's
Dan
so
Mullen.
cool. I
Dan
don't know
Mullen
even know how
watches
to
the
say
show. We can confirm that Dan Mullen's a big high top sports guy. That's what I know.
That's
Oh, what am I
that's all
doing
I
right
heard.
now? What am I doing?
Let's get it. Let's go. I know what you're
Well,
not
I
doing.
might be heading out to
We haven't
Lou
had
and
a breakdown
LV,
video of recruit in 3 months, but that's fine. It's fine.
I wonder, can you give me a coaching job, Dan? Dan,
Hey,
I'm telling you, buddy, I called
I might
Tory
have
Horton.
a
He's out here
talent
doing it
scouting
in
position
Seattle.
here.
He's
I need to check
watching.
my DMs. I need to check my DMs. Okay.
Yeah, Cody, go here. It's to its head. Cody's gonna ask for a raise now. This is getting out of control. Michigan,
I
Nebraska,
said
boy.
Seattle. Tory Horton, he's out here scoring 2 touchdowns today. Punt return, catching balls. What are we doing out here?
It still doesn't top Michael Penix. Whoever called that guy is dialed.
Oh, you did call that one. You did call that one.
I'm hanging my hat on that one until I die, boys. Michigan, Nebraska. This was a great instant classic in my opinion. Came down to the wire. I thought Nebraska was going to be able to pull it out. I told you last week. I think Michigan's going to win. I think they're going to overpower them, but I want Nebraska to get it done. What's his face? Dylan Raiola, 30 for 41, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, slinging the rock back there. They've got a nice flow, healthy tempo. Michigan just did what Michigan does, but Bryce Underwood wasn't anything spectacular through the air, but with his feet and Justice Haynes' feet, that's what they do. And look, Michigan can get scary, very similar to what they did when they went to the national championship run. J.J. McCarthy obviously knows a true blood winner, but Bryce Underwood's got a swagger about him and an aura that can really elevate this football team. But I'm not done with Nebraska. I'm not hanging up on them just yet. They've got a nice little run here. They've got Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern. That USC matchup is going to be an awesome one. We're going to get a telltale sign of either team. That could be a deciding factor, to be quite honest with you, for either one of those teams. Then they got UCLA, which we know is in shambles. Then Penn State and Iowa. Those are going to be 2 great matchups. Iowa is finding a little bit of a rhythm right now, and our boy Gronsky, he's doing what I thought he would do at Iowa, so let's not sleep on those boys just yet. So they're nowhere near out of the woods. Nebraska's going to have themselves some fights, some dog fights, but this offense is clicking better than I've ever seen it. Dylan Raiola looks absolutely fantastic. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Love that he went to Nebraska over Georgia, finding his own identity, and like I said, go be a guy for Nebraska. If he can take this team if they make a playoff, this guy is going to be a statue for Nebraska because you just put the Huskers back. The reason why I love Nebraska, side story, like, Sean, where's your obsession with this? My golf coach growing up as a kid was a big Nebraska fan. That was the weirdest thing ever. Like, it didn't make it because Nebraska sucked. Who was a Nebraska fan? The guy wore this thing religiously. And just straight military guy. What's that?
Sounds familiar with us now.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. Probably looking at me the same way. I mean, logo, yeah. But anyways, clean cut guy. Maybe the golfer that I am for sure. Ended up getting ALS and had a pretty rough outing. So always love for him and always kind of when I see Nebraska, I think of him. So little sob story there for you boys and girls. But Cody, how'd you feel about the game, man?
Boy, it was a good one. It was a Big Ten classic for sure. You know, Michigan just at the end of the day, when you got a run game like that, it's tough to stop, and it's going to win you a lot of games. And it succeeded this time. Watch out for Nebraska picking up some pieces in the portal this coming year. I think they're going to be a true contender for the playoffs and a true contender to be somebody. They are a couple pieces away on offense. Some really powerful wide receivers, and watch out for Nebraska next year. This team is going to be an absolute juggernaut if they can find a guy or two.
Ty?
Yeah, man. Dylan Raiola played a phenomenal football game. I was really impressed with him. You know, Michigan did Michigan things. They controlled the offensive line. Justice Haynes had a great football game. I'm just not sold on Michigan. I don't think Underwood's ready to take the helm to where he can win it all with his arm when need be. I don't think he has, like you said, he does have some swagger, and I think he's going to be good. But let's not forget, he's still a true freshman.
Agreed.
I think he's good when they run the ball, but I think if they have to go win it with his arm, I think it could be a problem later on down the road against one of those, powerhouse football teams over there in the Big Ten.
Like Kurtz and Getty and the Who's.
Right, yeah, they don't want any of that smoke, I can tell you. But no, in all truthfulness, I think they're good. I just don't think they're ready. Like you said, I think they're going to fall off when they play some of these other teams. But here in the upcoming years, I think Michigan's going to be really good. And I think Nebraska's coming to that spot also. So it's going to be fun to watch in the Big Ten, in all truthfulness.
Yeah, look, I don't think Michigan's going to be. When I compare them to the championship team, it's like they've got everything, and the quarterback can give them a bigger ceiling if he can find himself, right? But again, true freshman, for us to think that he's just going to be numb to it, but again, he's in a very peculiar situation where he doesn't have to be anything, but Oklahoma exposed that he needed to play. And we've already seen them be when it was forced to him to make some plays. He obviously had some issues. So, yeah, I'm not completely sold on him just yet, but they do look good. Both teams look good. I'm excited to see, again, kind of down the stretch how they handle the Big Ten. They don't play Indiana. How these Big Ten, these top big teams like finagle where they only play one of each other, kudos to them. Mizzou versus the Cox. This was an interesting one because this was typical Shane Beamer ball. This is where it's South Carolina all over again. Lenoris comes back. He looked as advertised finally, really slinging some great balls in there. I mean, his ability just to move out of the pocket and throw off the run in the pocket, it did not matter. The guy was hitting his shots, but Mizzou is a well-coached, well-oiled ran machine, and we saw that. They just bend, don't break mentality. They embody their head coach, Eli Drinkwitz, which go back to SEC media days. There's nobody there. The guy's reading off conspiracy theories because there's like 4 reporters and he knows it. Nobody cares about Mizzou football.
Yeah.
We're not sexy. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not here I don't care what you guys think. Like, literally, nobody thinks Mizzou is good. They just keep sleeping on good. Like, and it's not like that cheesy good, like genuinely good. We do not care. We are going to continue to do our thing here at Mizzou and just tear your hinds end up. Shane Beamer is Eli is what Shane Beamer wants to be. Right? The fierce, the swagger, but just it's kind of a facade. It's just he's not able to bite down and handle the big wins when it's needed. This Cox team has really fell short and hit a fizzle when they could have got things rolling. But Mizzou keeps on rolling. Cody?
Yeah. Well, when you give up the offensive play calling and you hire an OC and you got a good DC, you don't have much to do. You got time to research Flat Earth, JFK, anything else you want, aliens, UFOs, whatever conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat you want to research. You got all the time in the world because you decided to go out, do the right thing, and hire an OC. And not taking any jabs at anybody, but I'm actually surprised. I know. I'm actually surprised.
What was that tweet? What's his record since hiring an OC, by the way? Do you remember what it was?
I think
like 21-5 now, 22-5?
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Yeah. But, it's one of those things where I'm not done on South Carolina. Lenore Sellers looked the best that he's ever looked this year. He definitely took a step up. They just didn't have enough juice in the tank at the end against a very good Mizzou team. I think they're gonna beat a lot of teams. I'm kind of glad we don't play the Cox this year because I think they would bend us over their knee and put belt to butt. It's one of those things where they have a couple pieces they got to figure out. They got to make some adjustments, but don't give up on the Cox yet.
Yeah, I mean, when I sit here and I looked at this football game, like you said, Sellers looked the best he's ever looked, and not just this season. It's the best he's looked since he became the starting quarterback in South Carolina. He made he made a lot of really good plays from the pocket. He moved out of the pocket when necessary. But South Carolina's defense to me is not on where they were last year. I don't think it's the same kind of defense. I think they're missing some pieces. As for Mizzou, Bo Pribulute played a great game, but honestly, it was their running game that was most impressive to me with Hardy. Like, that kid's tough. He ran up the middle. He always fell forward. They played a great football game. I was impressed with Mizzou. I wrote them off, when they lost Burden and they lost Brady Cook. And, honestly, I think they look better than they did last year, and it's not even close. I think this Mizzou team might have a little chance to make a little noise and upset a few teams.
Yeah, no, upset a few teams.
They're almost sneaky good on offense. They're like sneaky good on offense.
I mean, upset like teams are not supposed to be. Not like upset a few teams. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah. I didn't mean it like that.
So their biggest matchup is going to be Alabama. Then look, I mean, what once seemed like an easy schedule, it's not so easy anymore. They've got Alabama, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So I don't know those teams that, again, because Auburn was not intended to be really good. Vanderbilt, we always kind of sleep on. Oklahoma, we had low expectations. Arkansas's looked really good. Mississippi State's looked solid. So all these games have ramped up in amplitude. So we'll see if they're the truth here in a couple of weeks when they play Alabama and then Auburn as well, which it's at Auburn. So they've got to stretch. Mizzou will have an opportunity to answer. And like I said, this is where the SEC just starts to become a bloodbath. It's just going to be a crossover here. Boys, week 5. I mean, I feel like week 2 was a weird one. Week 1 was great. Week 2 sucked. Week 3 was awesome. Last week was great. It was full of great games. I mean, I don't know what it is. I just feel like there's usually like one or two. This has been phenomenal with the matchups. On Friday night, you got TCU, ASU. TCU's top 25. ASU, I think their verdict's still out of who they're going to be, right? So you get a nice Big 12 matchup there. Georgia Tech Wake is probably the easiest non-top 25, to be honest with you. Because then you got Notre Dame, Arkansas. That Arkansas team's not going to just lay over. I know they kind of fell short against Memphis, but Memphis is undefeated, kind of rolling too. They've been doing their things the last couple of years. USC, Illinois. We'll find out if Illinois is, a fraud or I don't know. We're going to find out. We really don't know. We're going to find out. LSU, Ole Miss, number 4 versus 13.
Oh,
that's going to be. I mean, you talk about 330.
Trinidad's going to have 700 yards against that LSU defense.
Let's get it. Let's go. Auburn, Texas A&M. Auburn's going to A&M. I mean, Jackson Arnold better wake up, sunshine. We might have a switch of quarterback if pretty quickly here. We'll get our answers at that point. Indiana, Iowa. I think before this week, we probably would have been more excited to watch that game. It's only a 7-point spread. Sleep on that. Tennessee, Mississippi State. We get some answers on Mississippi State this weekend, right? And Tennessee. We'll find out there. Yeah. Oregon, Penn State, 6-3. Finally, the Big Ten decides, hey, maybe we should play some games. Maybe we should figure. Oregon decides to clock in. We're 5 weeks in. Penn State and Oregon are like, all right, guys, we'll come out of hibernation. We'll come play.
I mean, honestly, I looked at the spread for the Florida State-Virginia game, and it's only 7.5. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was like, that's scary.
Put your money in your mouth, this big guy.
No, but I really want to, but like our offense is really good. Like I'm not just saying that. We're really good. Like we play offense.
Hey, out of all those, it's gonna be the Iowa-Indiana game to see if Indiana can do what they did to Illinois. Illinois had a pretty good defense. If they can do that to Iowa, watch out. They're not going to be. They are not
Iowa's
going
to try to suck you dry. I'm
Yeah,
not done. We got Bama, Georgia, 7:30 p.m. kickoff.
That's the live stream, right?
Bro, how are you going to give us Oregon, Penn State, and Bama, Georgia at the same dang time? What are we doing?
But the parody of college football right now is amazing. Let's just not get it twisted. The parody right now is awesome.
Then
what's my 3:30 matchup?
LSU, Ole Miss.
I'll be live streaming that.
Great.
Then BYU, Colorado at 10:15. I think that's going to be a good one to see because Colorado looked good this past weekend against Wyoming. Caden Salter found himself. BYU, are they what they were last year? We'll see if Colorado has an answer for that. So again, a lot of Big 12 implications for that game. Phenomenal. I mean, you are listen. Octobox, whatever you need, you better dial it in, boys. It's going to be a fantastic week. We'll be doing watch parties for a lot of those games on Saturday. When Ty said, hey, I'll be there. I want to be there. I'll watch with you. He's lying. Because when you ask him, he doesn't show up, okay? So don't count on Tyler at all, boys.
People were asking at the 3:30 game. They're like, why can't you get anybody else from the Hightop crew on here with you?
It's unbelievable.
Oh, don't worry. Cowboy
We can't hear you, Ty. Boys and girls, y'all be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Shout out to our sponsors, Kalshi. That's Cody the Professor. That's Cowboy Ty. I'm Shelton. Until next time. Peace and love, baby.